What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ian, and today we're joined by a very special guest. This is Penny here behind me. She'll be hanging out with us a little bit for the afternoon. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about some gear items that I'm going to be bringing along with me on the trail, and these gear items are also known as the Big Three. Now, the Big Three consist of the backpack, the shelter, and the sleep system. So first, I'll start off with the backpack. I've been using an Osprey 70 for the past several years, and I really like that backpack. It's very, very comfortable, but it's a little bit bigger than what I want for a through hike. It's good for section hikes. I'm just not sold for a through hike. It's a little heavy. It's about 4 pounds-ish empty. And it holds a lot of water weight when it gets wet, so I'm trying to avoid all that. And with all that being said, doing some research and a little bit of trial and error, I've come up with the pack that I want to bring, and it's from Z-Packs. It's a Z-Packs Arc Blast 55-liter pack. This pack is not quite as comfortable as the Osprey pack that I have, but it's still, still pretty comfortable. It's made from this Dyneema composite material, so it's highly water resistant, and it's super lightweight. It only weighs about 21 ounces empty. Now, when it comes from the factory, it's pretty stripped down, so if you want a little bit extra bells and whistles for it, you have to customize it on the website. So I did some of that, and I ended up going with a little bit of extra padding in the lumbar area. I added a couple of hip belt pockets. I added a shoulder strap water bottle sleeve, and I purchased a pack liner to go down inside. Just gives it a little bit of extra waterproofing for those things that go down in there that you want to keep dry. All right, so the next part of the Big Three is going to be the shelter. I decided to go with the Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2 Platinum tent. There are millions of tents out there to choose from. I've got a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL3 that my wife and I use when we do section hikes, and I really like that tent. I'm a fan of the double wall tent. There's a lot of single wall tents out there that you put up using your trekking poles, so you can save a ton of weight with a single wall tent. But I don't know, I'm not sold on the whole condensation issue. I've heard some stories about how those tents, can get you a little bit wet inside during the night. So, used to the Big Agnes brand. I'm used to the tents. I like a double wall tent. That's what I'm going with. And so far, I'm really happy with it. This tent is very, very light. It weighs, I believe, 21 ounces. The footprint that goes with it is an extra 5 ounces. And so I think I'm gonna need that just because the floor of this thing seemed a little bit thin. I haven't actually used it on the trail, but the copper spur that I have has not ever let me down. I'm real happy with that tent. So I have a feeling I'm gonna be happy with this one. So the third part of the Big Three is the sleep system. I have decided that I'm gonna go with the Enlightened Equipment Enigma 20-degree down quilt. I decided to go with a quilt over a bag because for me it's just a little bit of extra versatility. I can throw a leg out if I need to in the middle of the night if I get warm. This thing is very, very warm. It's very comfortable. You can get a stock off the shelf bag or quilt, I believe, or you can custom make yours. I decided to custom make mine. I went with the 850 downfill, and I went with the 10 denier material on the inside and on the outside. So far, I really like this quilt. Used it a couple of times, and it's kept me very warm. I went with the burnt orange color on the outer and the charcoal on the inner. And I'm keeping it all in this Z-Packs medium-sized stuff sack. And it's made out of Dyneema, and it just a little bit of extra waterproofing, and it fits great down inside the backpack. Now this is all going to go with the Sea to Summit Reactor sleeping bag liner. This thing adds about an extra 14-15 degrees of warmth for the really cold nights, and it also gives a little bit of added protection to the interior of the sleeping bag, so that if you're filthy after a long day of hiking, you know, you dirty this up instead of dirtying the sleeping bag up, and then you can just chuck this into the washing machine when you get into town. Don't really have to worry about much. And then it takes a little bit of extra effort to wash the bag, the sleeping quilt. I mean, next up is the sleeping pad. Now the sleeping pad I'm going with is the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite. And this thing is pretty awesome. It's pretty much a staple out there. Everyone uses this pad. I have several Thermarest pads, and this one's my favorite. It's pretty light, I think 12, 13 ounces, something like that. It's very, very comfortable. And finally, with my sleep system is my pillow. Now this is the Sea to Summit Aeros inflatable pillow. I sometimes like this pillow. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes it stays there all night, and it's a blessing. And sometimes I can't keep it under my head, and it's a curse. So I'm gonna bring it with me just because it weighs next to nothing, and it's pretty small. I feel like I need a pillow when I'm sleeping. A lot of people don't use one. A lot of people will use their clothes bag. I've had this for a long time, and like I said, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. And so that is the big three. That's what I'm taking at this point. So today is December the 8th, and on December the 1st, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy opened their registration for the 2021 Thru hikers. And so I registered to start on February the 21st. So I'm gonna try to put out more videos as we get closer with other gear selections, things that I'm, probably most likely going to bring. At this point, I have everything locked down. I just need to do a couple of minor adjustments, but there, right before we leave, I'm going to show all you guys everything that's going in the pack, kind of just tell you what I'm bringing. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me, and thank you, Penny, for being a great co-host, and I guess we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.